Robert family, Impact, No Surrender. This is one of the latest pay-per-views that they have right now, and we're going to be talking about all of this, what happened. This is a great show, I think. We had like a great championship matches, and also like the main event, the members from Honor No More against the Impact guys, just to see like if they can get a contract or not. Jean-Paul, what are your thoughts about this show? Better than an Elimination Chamber or no?
Yeah, I mean that it's tough to say. I think the names on the show maybe aren't as big as the ones that were on Elimination Chamber, but I think there's a lot of intrigue in this show. I was excited for a lot of these matches. I shouldn't say excited while watching them. Okay, this is good stuff, and the storytelling is good. And Impact is, a lot of people sleep on them, but we always support them. We like what they do for the most part. And this show was pretty good, maybe a little long. I thought even the main event match went a little long, but the ending was good. It brings up a lot of intrigue. So, we're excited to get into this review.
Exactly, family. Thank you so very much for being with us. Thank you so very much for everything that you do for the channel. Don't forget to keep subscribing, helping us out. In the morning, or a few hours ago, we had like what happened in the Elimination Chamber with Brock Lesnar becoming like the, WWE champion. He's going to go against Roman Reigns. So don't forget to support us on that. And Paul, we have actually news about Bobby Lashley, because he is like the injury that they played out, of course, in the chamber is not real, but he actually is injured. Supposedly he's going to be sidelined in like a month and a half, 2 months, because he has a shoulder injury that like he actually injured in the match with Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, so I guess my plans of him being a double champ at WrestleMania are out the window. So that sucks for Lashley, but maybe he'll be the first challenger for Roman Reigns or something following.
Hopefully like that, like you said. Hopefully that's what we have. But now let's focus now on Impact No Surrender. Yes. And they have previous matches that we don't really want to talk about because they were not actually Robert quality. But we're going to talk about Eric Young and Jay White. This is like the leader of Violent by Design against the leader to the Bullet Club. This was I think it was a pretty good match. It's the first time that we've seen these two guys going at it, and I like that both of them have like chances, opportunities. What did you think about this? Because the winner, Jay White, Blade Runner, we got to see him like 3 days in a row. Actually 4 days in a row, because if you think about it, he was on Dynamite, he was on Impact, he was in Rampage, and now he's in No Surrender.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed this match. Eric Young is so great, and he got a great promo before this match too. And Jay White, what's the one thing we said? They said this guy's so over, he's so great, but we haven't seen him wrestle. You said now we've seen him four days in a row, and okay, now we're seeing this guy. We're starting to see what he is, and he is a great wrestler, and I think he's a pretty good promo. And I enjoyed this match, but we knew Jay White was going to get the win, and like you said, you Switchblade 1, 2, or the Blade Runner 1, 2, 3, and it was a great match.
Really like this spot right here with the pile driver,
Oh yeah, and Eric Young hits a great pile driver, but Jay White needed to get the win. He needed to get the the momentum over here in the States.
Exactly,
with his audience.
He gets the win, and like you said, Blade Runner 1, 2, 3, Jay White gets the win. So this war with Violent by Design might continue, but we're gonna see what happened with Jay White a little later in the show. So that was also really cool to see. Let's move on, Paul, to like the open challenge by Dianna Perez, because she's like the Reina de Reinas champion and also like the Ring of Honor champion. So she's just said to anybody she wanted to have a match. No Surrender is one of a very important Impact pay-per-view. A lot of history with like this brand and this name, and also like she just got engaged with Steve Macklin. So hey, congratulations to both. And then Miranda Alice, she's the one that responds to the challenge, and she's from Ring of Honor too. And they have a pretty good match. I don't think Dianna at any point of the match was going to lose the title, but I mean, pretty decent showing, and also like they keep featuring the guys and girls from Ring of Honor.
Yeah, this match was good, and Dianna, she's always going to be in the mix, even though she's not the Knockouts champion. They're always going to feature her in the mix, and her opponent here, that has the lucha style, and the submissions and all that stuff, and Dianna can wrestle that style, but like you said, she was in no real danger. She locks us in the submission, and forced to just tap out, or I think give up. I don't know. I guess she couldn't tap. She can still tap with the hand. Yeah, but I mean, this was a good match for Dianna, and you got to keep her, like I said, keep her hot, because I think she will. Maybe we'll see her be the one to dethrone Mickie James.
No,
at some
she'll
point,
get the
and
title back.
she'll hold all 3 belts. But what
Yes.
did you think of the commentary team? Has it been, you've been following Impact a little more? Has it been like that for a while?
It's been like this. It's been
Like,
Tom
where's
Phillips now.
where's D'Lo?
D'Lo was actually injured, as he's playing
Okay.
storyline injury because he was attacked by the members of Honor
Oh,
No More.
okay. So
Honor
yeah,
No More.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like that's
So-
why D'Lo wasn't there, but like also like the addition of John, Aiden English. Like it was okay. I think they both play around. Aiden English used to
It
do
reminded me like
commentary.
it made me feel like I was watching a WWE show with both.
It
of
did
them
felt like it,
commentating.
yes, yeah. I mean, like we miss Matt Striker. I don't know what was the deal with them. I don't know what really happened. But I mean, Tom Phillips is doing what he can. Supposedly, he's given a lot more freedom than what he got in WWE. And Aiden English was doing some commentary for 205 Live. Actually, for the ones that don't know, 205 Live is no longer exists. It's actually
I
NXT Level Up.
wonder if Tom Phillips, if he ever did 205 Live with Aiden English.
Oh yeah, I mean, I probably that at some point they might
But-
have. They might have because like you said, like Aiden English towards the end of like this WWE run, he was doing commentary. So like it could have been something right there. But let's move on, Paul, to the next one. This is Jordan Grace trying to get her title back, the Digital Media Championship, against Matt Cardona, one of the hottest agents right now in the game because he's the NWA champion. He was the GCW champion and now also the Digital Media champion. What do you think of this match? Because Cardona retains, no DQ, but at least both man and girl, like they end up being like showing up some strength.
Well, actually, I mean, it's a yes DQ, and not a no DQ, a yes DQ. Because,
Yes.
he gets DQ'd here. A pretty hard fought match. Jordan Grace looked good in this. Obviously Cardona sold for her and everything, but the whole Digital Media Championship just it's a spin-off of Cardona's Internet Championship that he created, and I mean, I don't want to say it's a joke championship. I don't want to downplay it or anything, but I mean, it's all just a play off of what he did. But the spot here, which he picks up a chair, he gets kicked in the face. She brings it in the ring. She gets frustrated and kind of, hits him with a low blow. And and gets DQ'd. And he's just playing head games. And, the one thing that you mentioned, NWA champion, but they couldn't mention that or, nothing with that. And because technically he didn't win it because that didn't air yet, even though it was, saw in front of a studio audience. So, and the one thing to think here is, imagine if he would have lost this and then won the NWA belt. Well, how would that look for the NWA? Like, and no offense to Jordan Grace or anything like that, but our NWA champ almost lost to a woman. That's a little bit, not again.
That's why they have to keep the guy hot. That's why, the DQ was the easiest way out that they could have found. And there you go. Matt Cardona is still, double champion. I mean, like you said, it's not yet announced, but we know it.
Yeah,
and
then before we move on to these final couple matches, I don't know if you saw sometimes with the camera shots, there was a lot of empty seats there. That wasn't very full at all. Like, what do you think of that?
It was in New Orleans. It was in New Orleans, by the way. And not a lot of people follow Impact. I mean, they have like you said, superstars that are kind of names, but unfortunately WWE and all of those things, they don't really have the level of fandom to have everybody. That's why I think that they try to tape as many shows as they can in one or two in the same location after a pay-per-view. That way, they don't have to keep going to city by city because they're not gonna have a lot
and that's why I mean you have the Jay Whites and the people like that on this show and they're advertised, and you still can't fill the arena. So that just shows that Jay White's not a draw. Because if that person, if this was like a CM Punk, there would have been people there.
Oh yeah, I mean these
something
guys
like that.
They are more popular in Japan and places like that because how popular that is, and also the level of population over there is a lot more. So
I mean, New Orleans, depending where is bad because it's not very it's usually a poor area depending where in New Orleans. But I just noticed that. But anyway, let's move on.
No, like you said, it is something to notice, and you got to see Eddie Edwards because he was gonna be part of the Impact team that was gonna face Honor No More, but he gets taken out, so he's medically the same thing with Bobby Lashley, injury work.
Here. I was gonna say, here. Cut back to he was taken out. Let's just say taken out.
Yes, and also he was gonna have to be in the concussion protocol.
Yeah, exactly.
The same thing. So you can see that everybody does it. So tell me a little bit about the tag team championship match because the Good Brothers going against the Gods of Evil or Devil, I think it is.
The Gorillas of Destiny.
Gorillas of Destiny. There you go. I created a new name. There you go. The Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatonga and Tamalonga, I think it is. These guys is their debut in the United States having a match. So that was cool. These guys have been so popular in New Japan. That was really great. And this match, I thought there was going to be a title switch, but I was wrong because in the end, we get to see the betrayal of Jay White. He actually came with these guys. He was like the Bullet Club with these guys, but like he ended up being the guy that causes the ending for the match, because after this they did the Magic Killer 1, 2, 3, and the Good Brothers retained those titles. You see Jay White right there by the ropes, right? And he's reforming like a new version of the Bullet Club with all members of it. That's the Good Brothers.
Yeah, and what's the match itself? I enjoyed. The Gorillas of Destiny are good. I see why people said they wanted to see them versus the Usos for the longest time.
Yes.
And the Good Brothers had a really good match with them, and I like this ending, and it ties in with what's going on with AEW as well, because Jay White came in, he was with the Bucks, now he's with the Good Brothers. Who was the last person we saw hanging around with both of these two tag teams at the same time? Kenny Omega. So is he going to be the new Omega? We said it was going to be Adam Cole, maybe being the one to feud with Omega, like, hey, why are you taking my spot? But no, it might be Jay White. Or maybe they'll come back and they'll just coexist and they'll all be buddies. I really don't know what the story is, but I mean, this is good. I like this. And the Gorillas of Destiny, I'm fine with this, heel turn or the switcheroo, however you want to call it, because I feel like they're a team who's so over and they have the charisma like the Usos and all them, where they can get themselves over with the audience very quickly, and they'll be fine on their own. So
yes, it will be good. And like you said, like these guys easily, the Samoan like lineage and all of that, like they're okay. And also like they're not as popular here as they are in Japan. So that's fine.
Yeah, but I think they can get themselves over here though.
Yeah, they could, and hopefully like they have like more exposure here on Impact, maybe on AEW at some point. Like there's gonna be the Ring of Honor Supercard. The Briscoes don't have a match; they have like a match for those titles. Mystery opponents. Maybe it could be FTR. It could be these guys. Gorillas of Destiny or Destiny's Child. However you want to call it. Let's move on to the next one, and that's Mickie James defending the Knockout Championship against Tasha Steelz. This one was probably the weakest match out of all of them. And not saying anything bad about Mickie James or Tasha. Tasha is a pretty decent wrestler, but that's it. That's the same thing as like comparing with Kira Hogan. What happened with Kira Hogan? Went to AEW and she's more featured on the NWA. So I think that the match was okay. Nothing really of excitement. We got to see also Chelsea right there. Savannah Evans was right there also, like kind of trying to cause distraction and try to help Tasha to win the match. But in the end, Mickie James didn't even need her finisher because it was like a pinning combination. And that was
this match again. I mean, I was more into the Dianna Purrazzo match, and the one thing I will say positively is how great is it to see Mickie James as champion, and showing everybody how good she still is and how she can be the top woman in any division. And I like that. But this feud, they really tried to get Tasha Steelz over. She won the X Division match, but she didn't feel credible. This didn't feel like a big match. You had Mickie James, and she was there with the band or whatever those three women.
It was there was some like country like artists.
Yeah, like a country group. And they were like woo singing, and you're not going to do that in a championship match where the title is in danger. It didn't seem like any real threat. That's kind of how I felt.
I agree. Out of all the matches, this was one of the
and you think about it again, with having to win that the first women's X Division match, shouldn't have this felt like really special? But it didn't.
Now, to me, that was the wrong winner right there, and I said
I think they gave the ball to Tasha Steelz, and she completely dropped it. So.
Yeah, now there's not a lot you can do. Like Rachel Ellering is done also with Impact. Tennille and also Madison Rayne.
Chelsea Green. It should have been a heel Chelsea Green. Matt's a heel now. I would say with everything Matt's doing to Jordan Gracie's a heel, so make Chelsea heel.
And now Chelsea's actually babyface. So like that's a little different. So we'll see what happens. But let's go to like the main match for me at least. The Impact Championship on the line. Moose, the guy, we love him, against W Morrisey. This was a pretty, to your face match. I want to say, because it was just a lot of spears. And tell me a little bit how you felt about it.
Yeah, and we had Brian Myers on commentary, and he even said the same thing. Moose, Morrisey. He was saying like, oh, he only has 5 moves. Because he was just throwing him into the barricade, and he's like, oh, all he knows how to do is throw him in the barricade. He only has 5 moves, and they said, is anybody gonna lock up? There was nothing of that because it was all just big throws, suplexes, just high impact moves. Everybody was just hitting, it was just slugfest. There was a war. He did his big power bomb onto the outside. He got slammed through the announce table, or not through the announce table, but just like the table where they had probably like the ring bell and everything. And I mean, this was a war. And I like, just like, I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. They just beat each other up. But
it was a pretty, it was a pretty good match that it had.
The only thing,
really like more like just to your face, like I said.
I guess the only thing
big move after big move.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'm trying to think here is what I'm like stumbling over my words is with. I don't want to say I was expecting Moose to lose here or anything, but who do you really see in line? If anybody was going to beat him, I thought, okay, maybe Morrissey, maybe they would do it, but. I don't. Moose to me is almost like a guy who's going to be like Roman Reigns. I feel like he's just going to beat everybody and hold the belt forever.
No, the main thing is like here, and I'll tell you this, but like this was like some great spots that they have because Moose does the spear, and then Morrissey he
with the hand under the ropes.
He then was and then also like Morrissey kind of suffered the same thing with Moose. That was really cool, and then exchange more moves. Then you see like Moose delivering the spear one more time, 1, 2, 3 moves. Is still the Impact World Heavyweight Champion as he should. The one thing here, and then I'm gonna go cut back to us, is that Josh Alexander was the guy that was supposed to be the one dethroning Moose because that was the whole story. They had it all planned out, maybe for Bound for Glory, maybe for Slammiversary. The main problem with that is like his contract expired. His visa expired because he's from Canada. So he needed to renew all of that, and I don't know what stage in the negotiations are right now, but like he's no longer part of Impact. So after that, I don't know if the plans switch. I don't know who could be like a main baby face that like could be dethroned in Moose. But as of now, I don't really know who the guy could be. Maybe Eddie Edwards, because we're going to talk about it in a little bit. But I just feel that like, or maybe if Sami Callihan returns at some point, he's injured also. Like they could be like those guys, but outside of that, I don't.
Now, to me, it needs to be somebody who's the size of Moose or. Somebody like that. It can't be somebody small like an Eddie Edwards or a Sami Callihan, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, look, like I said to you, like it's not. I don't know where where they stayed right now, but like I said to you, the negotiations are still advancing. I don't know if it's completely done because look at this. We're gonna talk about the main event right now. See, this is the original lineup. It was going to be Honor No More. You get to see the guys from Ring of Honor. You get to see, of course, Maria Kanellis' husband. You get to see Tavern. We get to see Vincent. We got PCO and also Tommy King. So you see the same, all these guys. Or Mike Bennett. There you go. For the guys that might say, oh, he doesn't know the names. Mike Bennett. There you go. But like, see, this was like the original lineup. See, Josh Alexander's here. But they have to switch it up because, again, the contract expired. I don't know if there's money issues in Impact. I don't know what's going on with Scott D'Amore, but like completely taken out. And that's why they have to replace the guy with Steve Macklin. And they played out in storyline. And now that Eddie Edwards is taken out, even the picture quality goes down because there you go. This is the current lineup for this. So the match quality was, like you always say, multi-man matches are a little like complicated. Like it's hard a little bit to follow. There's big moves after big moves. There's like a lot of like cooperation, like you like to say. I mean, PCO is like the guys that like we saw him in GCW. Remember, like he goes and he does whatever crap happens. He doesn't have any time of care or like caution for his body. And I like Tavern. He got a good showing. Vincent is also pretty good. So like you knew that like the guys from Ring of Honor were gonna win. Why? Because they wouldn't play this story otherwise. Why would I play a story like this if I'm not gonna win and get a contract? I like this, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean the match it went on a little too long for me, but I mean I thought everybody looked good in this. The Ring of Honor guys, they shined them. They look good, but obviously we're gonna present Impact's guys. They look good as well. Rhino had his spots, but I mean the real stars to me in this were Willie Mack and not Chris Bay.
Rick Swann.
Yeah, Rich Swann. Thank you. He was great in here. And the whole storyline with Eddie Edwards, I didn't think anything of it, but the match kept going on. You saw PCO dive, took everybody out. Vincent dive, took everybody out. All these big dives, everybody's down. What's going on? Eddie Edwards comes to the ring. You think, okay, awesome, legit. He's going to turn the tide here. No, boom, kendo stick starts whacking everybody from Impact. And you're thinking, oh my God, it's the turn because what do they always say? Who's the heart and soul of Impact Wrestling? It's Eddie Edwards. They always put him over like he's the guy. He might not be the best wrestler, he might not be the toughest fighter, but he is the biggest heart of Impact Wrestling. Well, his heart turned black. He signed here with Honor No More. And, this was a good ending. That's why I said that I like this show. And this, it to me, it was more intrigue because everybody knew going into Elimination Chamber that Brock Lesnar was going to win and it was going to be champ versus champion. Everybody knew it. It would have been cool if they didn't, if they did a swerve, but everybody knew it. This, exactly. Nobody was saying, oh, Eddie Edwards is going to join Ring of Honor. Nobody thought that or join the Honor No More group. So,
I agree.
This was good. And the stuff with Jay White, I mean, this was, if you're into wrestling, everything going on in wrestling, not just one promotion, but everything going on, this was definitely a little bit of a newsworthy show, I think. So this was good. I liked it.
Like, for example, the match with Morrissey and Moose, great championship match. It felt like a championship match. So I liked
it. It felt like a fight, like not even like a wrestling match. It felt like just a championship fight.
The video packages were not bad, and the Moose entrances is great. Even the Brian Myers is like, oh my god, because the entrance of a god, because you hear like a and then so they know how to like portray their guys better. I feel that like if they will have a little more budget, if they will have a little more exposure, they will be a little better. Like you said, there wouldn't be as empty seats as like the ones we saw in New Orleans. But at least despite that, hey, there's going to be more tapings. They're going to have actually next month, they're going to be taping in Philly. The 18 and the 19, they're going to be taping a few Impact shows. So everything going to for Rebellion. That's going to be the next big pay-per-view that they're going to have. So we'll see. We're recovering this. So thank you so very much, family. Thank you so very much for supporting us with Elimination Chamber. Today, double feature. And now, No Surrender. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And where else can they find us, Paul?
And follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And, of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...